Wildgate was just revealed to the world, and in the lead up to the reveal, they invited a few people to come watch a presentation about the game, and then get hands-on with it for a few hours. And I was one of those lucky people. If you have any questions about the game, ask below, and I'll try and answer what I can. So if you missed the reveal, Wildgate is an upcoming multiplayer shooter that sees 5 teams of 4 players, so 20 people in total, take control of a ship, fly around completing PvE activities to gear up, and then trying to grab an artifact and head through the Wild Gate to escape once that gate is activated. You win by either being the ship to escape with the artifact, or by destroying the other ships in your game. I'm wording it like this to highlight just how much is going on around the fighting. It is a PvP-centered game. You're going to be getting into ship battles and gun battles, yeah, sure. You can be attacked at basically any time. You'll need to fight and defend against players, ships, that's going to happen. But there's more going on here than just clicking heads, and I wanted to highlight that. Ships need a good pilot. They're going to need maintaining during a fight, and those PvE activities are going to need clearing out, and then the loot from them bringing back. There's a lot of important aspects going on here outside of click, click, boom. So if you think you're a bit weaker at the PvP side, don't worry. There's still plenty of stuff for you to do with your friends, and there's a lot of fun that you can have here. Just be aware that fights are going to happen eventually. There's comparisons you can make to Sea of Thieves. That's going to be the big one that people compare this to for very obvious reasons. Group of friends, some filled with more murderous intent than others. You fly around, you get big guns, and then you go and use them to take other people's big guns, grab a shiny orb, and flee. It's a fair contrast to make. PvE, then PvP, shoot, and do stuff. While playing with the devs, the one that I mentioned instead, though, was Guns of Icarus. Simply due to the size and scope of the ships that you're playing with, that was the feel I got. Those big airships that are slow moving from Guns of Icarus really made me think of this. Because these spaceships are not small. They handle like a giant spaceship would handle. They're also a lot wider than you think, which is why during the event, I had my flying privileges revoked from our team. Yeah. Anyway, instead of flying the ship because I wasn't allowed, I spent my time being a gremlin and harassing other ships, which is a great way to spend your time. I loved every single moment of it. One of the things that I was told early during the preview and kept forgetting until it then happened to have a different moment bring it back to me was anything you can do on your ship, you can do to an enemy ship, which gives a lot of creativity. I didn't think much of it the first time I heard it, outside of, oh neat, I can like pilot their ship and do stuff. But as the preview went on, I kept remembering back to this statement, or having one of the devs do something crazy to show it off, and then my mind would start racing with all of the ideas and options for deviancy that I could get up to in this game. So here's a short list off the top of my head of things that you can do. You could steal modules from the enemy ship for your ship. You could take them off their ship and just throw them out the door while they're not looking. You could stick thrusters on the front of their ship to throw them into reverse and stop them. You could use a tractor beam to pull them closer to get them into range. You could take control of their ship, lower the shields during a fight. If you're playing as a specific character, you could take their modules and just recycle them. And there's so many more that you can come up with. That was literally just thinking out loud right now. During the event, there was a game where we had the artifact. So all we had to do was leave, and we were heading for the exit, until all of the other ships in the game started heading towards us and chewing us apart with gunfire. Because when you get that artifact, it pops up on the map, and everyone can see where you are. So flying towards the exit, our ship was on fire, our shields were cracking, and all hope seemed lost because we had to hold on and wait for the gate to activate. So we devised a stupid plan. Take this artifact that everyone else wanted and drop it onto an enemy ship, because that way we wouldn't be the focus anymore. They would. It was dumb, but maybe it would give us breathing room because we were dead anyway. We dropped it onto their ship, Everyone shifted focus, blew them up, and then we stole it back, made our daring escape, and won the game. It was crazy, but it worked. That seems to be a solid thread throughout Wildgate. At every moment, it felt like it was trying to create a playground. And then it was trying to give you all these weapons and modules that you can either use on your ship, or an enemy ship, or in fights, to just come up with creativity and give you options for how you approach and engage. I was lucky enough to spend the few hours I played just being able to ask the devs questions as we flew around talking nonsense. I always worry about PvP games these days, as there's so much noise, it can be hard keeping a sustainable player base, and I'm really hoping that Wildgate reaches the players that would love to play this, because it feels that their approach is one with a great foundation from talking to them. They wrote short stories of lore. They created over 100 pages of world building when it came to getting the feel right. The mechanics side of thing had to feel fun and with a purpose. The progression side, they wanted players to feel rewarded and not worry about FOMO. That was how they intended and designed the adventure paths. Kind of like the bonds from Helldivers, where they don't expire. I always really get excited about world building like they talked about, because I always run through ideas and creative thoughts in my head about other things going on in the world. I can't help it. So I would love to see some of those other stories, or even more lore get added. And of course, if this is successful, then it means that they have a library of information to pull from next time. During my time playing this, I had memories of Guns of Icarus, Sea of Thieves, even Wildstar due to the colourful art approach. You see, the dedication to wanting to build out this world and fill it with ideas, that really strikes to me. I'm a big fan of PvP and PvE being mixed in a game. I really love extraction shooters and all that kind of stuff because of it. I think that a solid mix of PvE and PvP allows for risk and reward style ideas. It allows for creative approaches of how you actually engage with the game and engage with other players. Wildgate scratches an itch for me. Even if I dislike games that rely on having to have 3 friends on speed dial to play with. I ended up wrapping up the preview event, and then I hung around to help with the next group if they needed extra players, simply because I was having that much fun with the game. I think I've got maybe 4 games worth of just archived footage from us playing it because it was that enjoyable. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for this one personally because it was a fun way to spend some time with friends and I'd really like to play more of it. I always enjoy banter style games. I mentioned that during our Orcs Must Die video, that they're a great way for you to hang out, shoot stuff, mess around. I also was told that during this event you can strap one of the booster rockets to another player and shoot them off into space, and I never achieved that. So I really, really want to, because that sounds like my kind of stupid. As I said at the top of this, any questions or comments, feel free to ask below, and I'll try and answer them. Otherwise, we'll try and bring you more Wildgate coverage as it gets closer to launch. I'll put a link in the description to wishlist the game once the Steam page is up. And outside of that, go play something. There's so many great games out there at the moment. There's got to be something that you want to go and spend your time doing.